With the full-scale war in Ukraine still underway, US Vice President Joe Biden has made a surprise visit to the country, the first of its kind since the conflict began. Questions are being raised about the intent of Biden's visit and what it might mean for the future of the war-torn region. Watch today's video to find out. Hello and welcome to Primetime TV. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell for more amazing content. Biden's visit to Kyiv. President Joe Biden arrived in Kyiv on 20 February for the first time since Russia launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine almost a year ago, demonstrating his commitment to the country and its struggle in dramatic personal fashion as the war enters an uncertain new phase. The highly classified visit, which occurred as air raid sirens rang out around Kyiv as Biden walked alongside President Volodymyr Zelensky around the gold-domed St. Michael's Cathedral, comes at a critical point in the 12-month conflict, with Russia preparing for an expected spring offensive and Ukraine hoping to retake territory soon. After a lengthy, covered journey from Washington, Biden arrived at Kyiv at 8 a.m. local time and at the Mariinsky Palace half an hour later. He left Kyiv early in the afternoon. Biden announced a $500 million aid package, saying it would include more military equipment such as artillery ammunition, javelins, and howitzers. In addition, he stated that new sanctions would be imposed on Moscow in the future, a high-stakes visit. Biden's visit was very symbolic because it happened a day before a speech Russian President Vladimir Putin was going to give to mark the anniversary of the war. Biden said that Putin's war of conquest is failing while speaking from Kyiv. During their talks inside the presidential palace, Biden explained why he was in the capital of Ukraine as the war entered its second year. Biden said that the Ukrainian cause had support from both parties in Washington. Jake Sullivan, the national security advisor, said that when Biden sat down with Zelensky, he was very focused on talking about the coming months of fighting. White House officials wouldn't say much about how the president's trip would work, saying that they would give more information once they got the green light from the security folks. Highly secretive trip. Biden's trip to Kyiv was kept secret because of high security concerns. Air Force One left Joint Base Andrews in the dark, and reporters on the plane were not allowed to bring their phones or cameras with them. Biden's public schedule didn't include the trip, and White House officials kept saying in the past that he wasn't going to Ukraine. Biden was given a number of options for where to go in Ukraine, but he decided that a trip to Kyiv made the most sense, a source familiar with the matter said. Discussions between the White House and the highest levels of the Ukrainian government helped get the trip over the finish line. Biden traveled with a relatively small group, which included Sullivan, Deputy Chief of Staff Jen O'Malley Dillon, and personal assistant Annie Tomasini. Zelensky himself went to Washington in December to meet Biden in the Oval Office and talk to a joint session of Congress. It was his first trip outside of Ukraine since the war started. The Ukrainian leader invited Biden to visit Kyiv months ago, saying that he thought it was important for the US leader to see the situation for himself. Biden's visit follows other world leaders' trips. Biden has been itching to go to Ukraine for months, especially after many of his European colleagues took long train rides to meet with Zelensky in Kyiv. French President Emmanuel Macron, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, and former British Prime Minister Boris Johnson have all visited the country to show their support. Now, as the war gets close to its one-year anniversary on February 24, Biden wants to show the world how much he cares about Ukraine, even though it's unclear how long the US and Western countries can stay strong. When asked what it meant for him to be in Kyiv, Biden said it was his 8th time there, and each time was more important than the last time. He also said that the point of his trip was to let Zelensky know that the US is here to stay. Concerns over China's support for Russia. The US is also getting more worried about China's support for Russia's military, which is another reason why Biden visited Ukraine. American officials told CNN on February 18 that the US has recently seen disturbing trends and that there are signs that Beijing wants to creep up to the line of giving lethal military aid to Moscow without getting caught. The officials wouldn't say exactly what intelligence the US has seen that shows a recent change in China's behavior, but they did say that US officials were worried enough about it that they shared it with allies and partners at the Munich Security Conference over the last few days. President Biden's surprise visit to Ukraine marks a new chapter in the relationship between the two countries. This visit is a sign of the United States' commitment to Ukraine and a reminder of the importance of diplomacy in times of conflict. What are your thoughts on Biden's visit to Kyiv? Let us know in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed the video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.